くしたら見えないのさ空には何も不思議な青いビーム輝いて君の体ふわりと夜空に Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up 耳を澄ますのさ Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up スクリューが回るMidnight submarine 君と乗りたいのさ摩天楼飛び越えて遥かな時間の国へと Midnight submarine 君を呼んでるのさ夢より遠い世界
And it's episode 67 of the Red Leaf Retrocast Anime Edition. I'm your host JD, joined with Hickey and Tori. We're here for yet another amazing episode going back to the 80s. You guys excited?
No.
Oh. Tori's a bit salty with the anime we watched today. Hickey, how you doing? Are you salty? Tori?
Yes.
I think it's safe to say that we might have some internet issues with Hickey today.
It sure sounds like it. So that's going to be
It sure sounds like it indeed.
That's
We
gonna be
might
fun.
have to ignore it. We might have to ignore him the entire time.
That is very possible.
Yeah, he's saying, fuck.
It's kind of great timing as well. Because it was all working. Well, not fine, but it was working. We could talk to him. And then we hit record, and then look what happens.
We'll just have to keep an eye on him throughout the episode. This could be entertaining in itself, because as we know, the internet is running out.
All right.
Yep.
This time it came back.
There it
It
is.
came back. It's okay. It's everything.
He's alive, people!
Everything is daijoubu. I'm okay. It's okay.
I thought you had the coronavirus for a second.
No, I don't drink that thing. It's a horrible.
You don't drink that.
Oh, shots fired.
No, dude. It's hot today, so everything is overheating. The PC is overheating, the router is overheating, and probably the cables outside are also overheating. Because if it's very hot, the cables melt.
Nah, the internet is just very susceptible to heat.
Yeah, I mean,
And the coronavirus.
the wires are.
So just a brief explanation. We did get some emails recently, guys, asking why we didn't do a winter outlook or fall reviews. Well, I
There's
guess
a very good explanation for this. And,
okay.
Okay, so here's what happened, right? We forgot.
We didn't forget. We would just like
We forgot.
Didn't want to. No,
We forgot, Hickey. Don't even.
We did the Lost and Forgotten, and that should have been the fall review podcast. But the fall wasn't that remarkable. So
Well, here's the other thing. All the anime I watched didn't finish.
Yeah, but that's your fault.
Well, no, they're still ongoing, so there's like no point in...
Yeah, that's your fault. You're the one who picked them.
Okay.
God, you need
All
to
right.
know when everything ends. JD.
I suppose in time we can review the awesome Viking anime. Could do that.
I don't know. I don't think anybody liked that one.
You don't think so?
Yeah,
No, I think it was very unpopular.
What's its score right? What's Vinland Saga's score on the Mal? Oh, a measly 8.77.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
Can you imagine? Can you
It's
imagine
not, even,
people?
it's not even above a 9. It's not even worth talking.
It's
Not even worth
it.
talking about, really. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Can you imagine like people going on Twitter
didn't
and
Fire
calling
Force
it
end?
a masterpiece?
Well,
I mean,
we'll get... If we feel like it and people clamor for it, maybe we'll...
yeah. So, just send
Grab a
JD a
couple.
bunch of angry emails. Be like, hey, you, asshole.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Or we can just move on and forget they ever happened. All right. So that's the explanation there. I got a promotion at work recently.
No way.
Yeah, finally. Tori, you're taking irritating tests that make no sense, because clearly you're not a service guy.
Yeah. You know, I need to figure out what I want to do to save the world. Apparently, to just work in a regular store. But hey,
I'm telling you, you work
fun.
at Olive Garden, you will have unlimited breadstick access. World hunger solved.
There is no Olive Garden here, but sure, at least not as far as I'm aware.
Move to the United States and work at Olive Garden.
No.
Is Hickey saying things again?
Yes.
Is he out? He's out.
Yes, he's out.
This is gonna be fun.
Yes. But I mean, in the meantime, I also uploaded a new video talking about Toho and the Lost Toho anime from 2010 from Studio Ufotable. So, you know, if that's something that sounds interesting to any of you guys, then by all means, check it out. I really enjoyed making that video. Took a bit of time, a lot of research went into it, so I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's a fun little video you make over there at the Top Scholar YouTube page.
Yep,
like
that's
it.
Right.
It's getting maybe it'll get a good little advertisement for the Bullet Hell episode we're gonna do for the Red Leaf Retrocast soon.
I don't know, man. I don't don't like your tone.
Aw. So I'm gonna actually move us into the general voice chat so Hickey can just bounce in and out.
All right.
Yeah. So let's just move on over here and there. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
So,
much less work.
Much less work indeed. Don't have to pay attention, although that would be funny. He's like texting us throughout the episode. It'd be funny for us. I don't think that would translate very well for
I mean, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at narrating what other people are saying. I do that a lot, so you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing. I just put on a fake Brazilian accent and read off what Hickey's saying.
I am really, really angry. That doesn't really happen. I swear to God, that never happened to me before.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Tori, I'm gonna play a drop today for you.
Fantastic.
Let you know. It's gonna be the Bebop High School drop, and you can get into your quest.
Yay!
There you go. It's all yours.
All right. Okay. So this one's going to be a short one. We're now worked all the way up to M, and the show that I'm going to be talking about is a show called Maria-sama ga miteru, or Maria watches over us, and Hickey's already laughing. And yeah.
Maria watches over us.
No, Maria.
There's like
JD.
5 seasons of this show.
Yeah, I'm not watching 5 seasons of this show. It's a third. For what I watched, I watched quotation marks the first season, which is 13 episodes. It's by Studio Dean, and it's a slice of life drama, romance, shoujo, and shoujo-ai.
By
so you
Dean.
know, lesbians. Yes, by Dean.
Yes.
So
I don't know about
you,
you, but I'm a fan of lesbians.
So am I. There's just one problem. You know the stereotypical shoujo setting with like shoujo-ai setting as well, with you know the the
senpai,
Christian,
the cool senpai,
the Christian school, like all these like pure rich maidens who kind of just walk around and act like refined young ladies, and then and then I'm just blushing at her because we kind of like each other, and we're blushing, sometimes hold hands, and then just kind of tack on unnecessary drama for no reason to just bore everybody to tears. Yeah, welcome to this show.
I see. This sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's exactly what it tries to be. That's the best thing I can say about it. It's not an inherent, like, the thing that I think is important to recognize with the show is that this show, if this is what you're looking for, if you're looking for like your stereotypical like shoujo-ai like this is exactly, you're gonna get exactly what it says on the tin. You're gonna get girls who like each other, kinda. Not that they're also very prideful and they act like mature ladies. There's some drama there involving that only happens to rich people, like, oh, I have to marry my cousin, that's why I can't be with you, and yada 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 yada. Stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. First world problems.
Yeah. I remember rich people marrying their cousins. from time to time.
At least it's not their brother
all
or
the
sister.
time, right?
Well, I mean, you need to keep in the family.
Yep, incest, it runs in the family. So yeah, no, it's, I really don't have much to say on this one. I guess I could read a synopsis, just...
Sure, do that.
When Yumi Fukusawa entered the Lillian Girls Academy, a prestigious all-girls Catholic school in Tokyo, she never imagined she would catch the eye of beautiful and demure Sachiko Ogasawara. She, one of the school's most popular students. Yeah, she's one of the school's most popular students. Now Sachiko has offered to be Yumi's sued, or sister. Yeah, her sister, and guide for all of her years at the academy. The whole idea has Yumi completely flustered. After all, they hardly know each other.
Ooh.
Being my sister, I hardly knew her. The entire campus is abuzz with rumors about the two of them, but Yumi is conflicted over accepting Sachiko's offer, which is why she denies it, while she admires Sachiko. Being her sued would only mean constantly being at the center of the entire school's attention. So yeah, basically it's one that's like, be my little sister, and then she's like, I love you, but no. I was like, what?
Thanks, but no. Yeah.
Listen, I admire you, but I can only admire you from a distance.
High school. Like, yeah. Lillian Girls, huh? Mm.
No, it is. It's about as cheesy as you could imagine. And yeah, no, I was...
Shoujo, of course it's cheesy.
Yeah. No, I was not expecting to enjoy this show, but, it was on my plan to watch this probably because back in the day I saw Shoujo Ai and I was like, lesbians. And, yeah, shock horror. It might as well not be. Doesn't really matter. Maybe later, but I can't be bothered watching all of this just to get to maybe one scene of them holding hands one time. So, yeah, I watched about 4 episodes of it, and then I dropped it. I gave it a 5. It just seems like completely standard anime to me. There's not too much going on. Like, it just likes to kind of like throw drama at you at every turn, shoujo. And just, none of it really, it doesn't really matter in the end. None of it means anything. It all gets resolved fairly quickly. It's all just like, oh no! You're wearing your collar is crooked. Let me fix it. Oh, the horror! Everyone makes fun of me now because of this! It's like, yeah, whatever. So yeah. Don't watch this show.
A glowing review, obviously.
Yes. Don't watch this show, 10 out of 10.
10 out of...
Well, speaking of reviews, probably should say what this episode's about. Just
Why?
fast.
I don't see the problem. They're gonna hear it enough times anyways.
Urashiman, Future Police. That's what we're reviewing. It's from 1983, and we have our 2020 Winter Impressions. So, obviously, we can now play a drop and go right into the 2020 Winter Impressions.
This is a really good episode.
Cool. I mean, sorry. I
love it.
I feel like I've been, it's partially my fault. I would say
That's
10%.
right, we all blame Hickey.
I mean, I could blame you.
Well, I mean, it's not my fault. It's my internet fault. So, like, me disconnecting is just throwing everyone off.
Alright, 2020 Winter Impressions. Here we come. Alrighty. I did the Lupin drop. I don't think we've done that in a while, and if I have, oh well, who cares?
Yeah.
So 2020 Winter Impressions of the season that is currently ongoing. We have 9 anime we're going to give our impressions over. We each picked 3. And I will start us off as I get, Whoa. I cannot find the page with the synopsis over the show I want to talk about. Alright, my anime list. That was easier.
Okay. I was about to say, how can you not? It's not that hard.
Well, so Anime Planet has the shows listed in English in alphabetical order, but I don't know the exact
name in English.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Keep your hands off. Okay, Keep your hands off Eizouken. Eizouken?
Yeah.
Eizouken? Sure, whatever. Eizouken. It's by Studios Science Saru. It is the Yuasa anime. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yuasa.
No, it's not his anime. He's directing it. That's just...
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, again, Science Saru is also his studio. It is a
Alright, so it is his...
But it's based on but it is based on a manga. It's not his story.
No, but he's the director, so therefore it's his anime.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one cares about
First year
that
high schooler,
one animator, that made a really beautiful hair animation at one point. No one cares about that guy.
Nah.
Or,
all right.
well, in
First
my
year high schooler,
example, I think it's a woman. But regardless.
Do they even do any work? I don't think so.
No. They in Eizouken there's like that's I'm sorry, I just reminded I forgot to send you, Tori, because you like that part in Dekopara where they said, oh, we don't pay our don't let don't feed our employees. And there's a scene on Eizouken where the girl's like, oh man, how much did they get paid to do this? And the other one is like, we are not getting paid. I'm like, guys, what the matter?
Okay. First year high schooler Midori Asatsuka loves anime so much she insists that the concept is everything in animation. Though she draws a variety of her ideas in her sketchbook, she hasn't taken the first step to creating an anime, insisting she can't do it alone, because it's hard, guys. The producer type, Sayaka Kanamori, is the first to notice Asatsuka's genius. Then when it becomes clear that classmate and charismatic fashion model Tsubame Mizusaki really wants to also be an animator, they create an animation club to realize the ultimate world that exists in their minds. Kind of a loose summary of the show. Basically, these three girls get together, they want to create an anime. One is really good at concept design, and the other is really good at character design, and they're bringing their ideas together, while the tall, more serious one is basically the one that handles all the funding, and so they're at first not allowed to make this club because there's already an anime club, but they want to create an anime, not just watch it. So they have to kind of go under the guise that they're a live action film club to also killing two birds with one stone. The fashion model Tsubame isn't allowed to be in the anime club because she's, well, a fashion model and rich, and that would, I guess, look poorly, so her parents don't allow it, but they allow her to be in a live-action thing. It's really goofy. It has the goofy, unique Yuasa character-type designs that are very familiar with the anime he's involved with. I really like the uniqueness to the show. Yes, it's kind of a love letter to how to make an anime. I guess kind of like a Shirobako. I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yes. But I mean, like, it's more... this is more involved in, like, the process of, like... It's more like just geeking out over, like, the whole fact of animation, right? Like, I mean, the thing that I like, obviously, like I told you before you start watching the show, like, the opening episode is just, like, you see... when she, as a kid, like, she's just watching, like, she's super into adventure anime, like, adventures, everything. She loves adventure. Then it's like, goes and watches, like, Future Boy Conan, which we have covered, by the way. Right,
which was like, so awesome to see.
Yeah, I know, right? I love how they just, recreate the entire fucking, like, the scenes from that show. Just
various scenes, yeah, and and he's, like, geeking out over how great everything is, and it's like, look how they expand upon the universe in just a single scene, and really gets the, gets exposition in the anime without actually saying a word, and then look at all this and that.
Really like great. How she binge watched Conan as a kid as well. It just reminded me of when we reviewed it. I was just like, I cannot stop watching this show. It's just way too great.
The other thing that really keeps me invested is the fact that they're just not talking about an anime. When they get their idea, it's almost like you yourself as a kid when you just let your imagination run wild. So they both have this idea, and it's like, oh, okay, we got to create this vehicle of some sort. Well, how's it going to spin? How's it going to do this? And then they just get lost in their own imagination, and then it just goes into this like half animated world through all concept designs and slowly showing them running around, and it's kind of interconnecting the plot of them creating said thing. It's really interesting. I love how unique this is. This is definitely something that's a breath of fresh air for me at this point. Of what shows I've been watching over the past, I don't know, I guess 9 months.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like that, right? Because, like you said, the kind of Frost of Mill, like, you can see that if you go to, like, Sakugabura, for example, you can see, like, what, essentially, when they get their ideas, right? So they're unfinished ideas, and I really love that. They, like, enter, like, the Genga, right? Which is the, like you said, the unfinished version, like, just the raw, like, key art, like, just, or key animation, right? It's not fully fleshed out yet. This is just, like, the idea. And, like, they kind of just, they create that in their heads, and then they, like, enter that world and just live that out. And then, like, whenever they think of some idea, right? Like, for example, like, the thing that Asukusa makes her skirt into, like, the flying thing. It's just, and it's going to spin so fast. It's like, but isn't that going to just end up with you spinning around as well? Then she just starts spinning around crazy. It's like, yeah, but it's like, oh, but the inner circle is going to be then spinning counterwise to counteract this. And then she just stops going around, slows down. I love how they just like fixes things on the fly and after like, it's like, it's so great. I love the show.
Yeah, just anything they create, they just take one step into another on how to make this device make sense in their world they're creating. And speaking of the world, what's really fun is, yes, they have this imaginary world that they're making between. They want to make a 3-minute animation to impress the teachers so they can continue during their club. It's like their passing. Not their passing. Their reason for getting the funding and staying as a club. The world that they actually live in is quite fantastical in itself, and they even kind of make fun of how a lot of the architecture design within the city doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Just top of my head, Midori starts going on around, hey, we're at school, but the clock at the school faces outward towards the ocean, and because of how over the generations they've added to the school, you can no longer even look at the clock, so everyone looks across the ocean at the clock that's like on a light tower across the way, and you can barely see it.
Yeah.
They go, none of this makes sense, but that's just how it is. And even from the very first instance that you're introduced to the anime, when she moves with her mom to the new apartment that they're in, it just gives you a grand landscape of the area, and all she wants to do is go explore, and starts going in the sketchbook. It's really, really fun. I am absolutely going to continue this anime going forward. I look forward to all the fantastical adventures that they're going to go through, and it seems like it's only going to be, 12, 13 episodes, so it's not a heavy investment by any means.
Yeah, no, it's just a lot. I mean, like, the thing that it even makes me want to see some of the stuff they come. That, like, even as dumb as it is, that idea they had with a fucking, fucking sword fighting girl fighting that tank. Even that, as I'm watching that unfold, they're making that idea. I'm like, dude, this sounds so stupid, but I watch that.
Oh, I would watch that. I as well. I mean, I was invested in the thing. It's very interesting, like, how the concept of the thing was made, especially because, like, main girl really likes military stuff, and she was going into suspension and hydraulic pressure and hydraulic control and things like that. I was like, damn, whoever wrote the manga really knows his stuff about researching. So if they go and try to make sense of things, how it will shoot and things like that, it is very nice. It's like, how do you fight a tank with a sword? And I mean, the idea behind was a little bit weird. Like, we just make it low gravity. I was like, okay, you know,
sure,
it won't help.
It's animation, anything goes.
Yeah, it's like, it won't help, but sure. And then, like, the grappling hook, it was like, suddenly the animation really started picking up with them watching, I was like, damn, this show will be something else. This show will be fun.
Yeah. Well, they have the 3-minute animation. They're like cutting corners, and how we can give it more sense of speed with animating as the least as possible. So it's like, okay, we can make her run, or we just give her a grappling hook, and then she just flies off in a single frame kind of situation.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's kind of cool.
We animate one explosion and just copy and paste it. It's like, hell yeah. Everyone does that. See that a lot. Yeah.
So, definitely a pass. I'm looking forward to more. Who's next? I have it listed.
I mean, I can go next.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm up next on the one anyways. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the anime called Pet. Pet is it's going to be a 13-episode series produced by Geno Studios. And the synopsis from Alice: there are people who can get into other people's minds and control their memories. This power is used to eradicate mysteries and cases or worse. What the fuck? Okay. To assassinate. Yeah, worse, to assassinate. Fair enough. The potential of said power is strong enough that it is able to destroy people's minds. However, it can backfire and eat up one's own heart. To counter it, chains are used to lock and protect each other's weak and dangerous hearts. From one's growing fear and disdain, they're consequently called as a pet. So, yeah, that's told us nothing. But that's fine, because this show is fucking weird. If you are subscribed to my channel, you'll see I uploaded a short, less than a minute long video, where I basically just gathered a bunch of random shit that happened in the show and cut them together. And, don't worry, it doesn't make sense in context either. It's just like, people can enter each other. Like, people have kind of mountains and valleys, essentially, in their mind, right? You have your happy place and you have your lowest place. This is needed in order to create, like, a normal person. Like, if you want to stay sane, you need to have your good and your bad. Fair enough. And what a lot of these people do is that they temper with their, what these people that enter people's minds, what they do is they will temper with their high point. They don't want to destroy, because if they collapse their high point, the person will die. But they will temper with it. So, I mean, if they want to kill them, obviously they'll do that. But if they want to use them for something, like change their memories, change events, like they have to find a way to change their high points to change their memory, which is, which I like. It's kind of, instead of just like, your stereotypical, like, mind control, which is like, I can control your mind now. It's like, it is mind control, but there's a specific thing they have to do in order to do that. They have to achieve something. Like, it's not just like they can go in there and be like, snapping your fingers and be like, you now think this happened. Right? They have to find a way to make it work within their own memories. So that's kind of neat. Not that that's explored very much, but they did it once. So yeah. The whole thing with the pet, that's kind of in regards to two of our main characters, which is Tsukasa and Hiroki. They usually enter people, they enter people as a pair. Everybody pretty much enters another person's mind as a pair, but Hiroki is like, he is very fond of Tsukasa, and he is essentially Tsukasa's pet. He is what keeps them together. Hiroki is also very strong with his abilities, like he is very good at what he does. He doesn't take as much time doing, like, entering people's minds to, like, retransform, because they do this weird things, like, they've transformed to, like, fish, and then they become water, and then they kind of mold back together into person inside of somebody else's mind. It's weird. It's it is an experimental show. The genres are mystery, psychological, supernatural, and seinen, and probably as things go on, because I've heard people say that it's also there's also a romance tag associated with this, so if I had to guess, then this is probably eventually going to turn into a yaoi, because Tsukasa and Hiroki are they're very close. They are very close. Hiroki especially, he is really fond of Tsukasa. So there's that. But yeah, no, it's essentially, it's just a bunch of mindfuckery, like, literally. It's just, they enter people's minds, they fuck with them, like, which is why you get weird scenes like that dude in episode 1 who watches his friend just drive off the fucking road, which really did happen, but that guy was made to die. Or when he sits in his room and he's just like trying to calm down, trying to find a way to escape after having witnessed that murder because he knows that he's been killed. So he's like, how do I get away? And then he's like fucking stares at the wall and there's a giant eyeball just looking back at him like, whoa. And then he enter Tsukasa and Hiroki, who are staying at his place, right? And he doesn't know that they're related to this whole organization because there's an organization behind it all. And he doesn't know that, so he gets weird visions of them, like Hiroki's trying to fix Tsukasa's phone, and then instead he just undresses him and starts licking his chest. It's like, what are you doing? And then they're like, just click back to reality. What do you mean? Nothing's happening. And then he goes to calm down, looks in the mirror, Hiroki appears behind him and just pulls out a gun and shoots himself in the head. And then he freaks out, turns around, there's no one there. Like, there's so much mindfuckery going on here. And while the story itself is very weird and a little bit disconnected, I can't help but feel sucked into the show because it's just, there's so much mindfuckery going on here. It's just, I need to see where they're gonna go with this. I need to know.
Tags mystery psychological seinen kind of a yaoi mind break.
Yeah.
Let's go what goes on. Yeah.
Yep. No, it's a straight show. Like I said, it's very experimental. So it's only got a 6.43 on Mal. I'm not even shocked. This is definitely not a show that a lot of people are gonna enjoy. It's just, it's way too strange. But if you're into these like strange types of shows that just makes you go like, what the fuck every single episode, Patton is your show this season. It's something else.
Alrighty.
Okay, so I'll start with the fan favorite. Let's start with Darwin's game. Because, I mean, it's not as bad as it could be. The synopsis on my anime list says, an unknown pseudo Kaname is invited to try a new mysterious mobile app game called Darwin's Game, but later realizes that he is in for more than he's bargained for. Oh my god. Okay. When he finds out that there's no way to quit the game. Yeah, so basically, that synopsis was shit.
Well, that was a bad synopsis.
That was really bad. Well, I mean, they got the app correctly.
Fantastic. Good job.
Basically, he was at school, and a mobile app appears on his phone called Darwin's Game. His friend warns him to not press the button to play the game. Wait until, they go... by the way, the first episode has 50 minutes. Now, I've only watched the first episode because life got in the way and I couldn't watch more because I wanted to. It's actually a fun show to watch for some reason. It has a 7.4 on my anime list. But he presses anyway because...
It's not very high.
Well, I mean, but it is high for this show. He presses anyway at school because... Or, like, in his way back home because he's dumb. And he's a protagonist on a... kind of Soul anime, and he starts the game and is paired with this guy, this mascot panda guy, and he's like, oh, weird. It says like survive, and he thinks it's like, well, a mini game starts, and he looks to the other side of the train car he's in, and there's a guy on the mascot suit there and start attacking him with a knife. His friend comes along, tries to help him, explain him that there's a death game going on. You have a power, everyone has kind of a power as well, and you can get gacha items from the game. It is weird, but it is a battle to death game. And if you want to escape, you need to beat the game. You need to get more points than the other person, and, win basically the matches. That is how you survive the game. He, of course, wins. His friend doesn't die like they don't die if they lose, but they kind of die. They just disappear in a bunch of cubes. Anyway, then
they are erased.
Yeah, basically, but it's not. I don't think they're erased from everything. They just
yes, they are. That once they're dead, they're just gone.
Oh, but like everyone forgets about the person as well.
We haven't seen how people react to it yet. We just see that like they're no longer here. They no longer exist.
It's basically it. And then comes the girl, the love interest, the Gasai Yuno of the thing. If they have a fight, her power is manipulating chains. He uses his power and he summons the most powerful weapon he knows, which is a M9 Beretta pistol. And he knows how to use it, even though he never shot a gun before. But, regardless, he wins, and since he won, the girl was like, it wasn't an official match, and the girl was like, damn, he got me with a 9mm Beretta. I am extremely wet, and I'll die for this guy because now I love him. That is basically the first episode.
One of those.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, it's one of those.
The writing is really bad. Like it is really bad. When it comes to characters and character development, it is really bad. The choices the character made, it's just like really bad. It's just a compilation of bad characters doing bad, like having bad ideas and bad strategies. But it's still quite fun. I quite enjoy the first episode. I cannot wait to watch more. It will have 11 episodes, so I don't, it's not a huge investment, and I hope by the end it's just a train wreck on flames and people screaming in pain. Because it will be very interesting to see that.
Well, it's currently the second most watched show of the season.
Yeah, well, I mean,
right after the fourth season of Haikyuu. Haikyuu.
Well, I mean, because most of the people probably went in like, oh, this is gonna be a dumpster fire. It is, but it's quite enjoyable as well. It is not like King's Game, for example, which was just bad. Like, just bad. At least the first episode got a really nice impression on me, and apparently the other episodes are equally funny to watch. I cannot wait more.
Yeah, after King's Game and other kind of kill game anime have failed, I was very hesitant to even give this one a try.
Oh no, it's gonna be bad, but like, it is the best of its kind so far.
It's not saying much.
No, I mean, like, the animation is fine. The real problem are the choices of the characters, honestly, because they're just bad. It seems like they don't have brains. King's Game, the characters also didn't have any brains, and they were really dumb, but they were also panicking. And at this one, the characters try to be rational at like all the time, so it's okay. The decisions are still bad, but they are not all the time screaming and crying and all those things.
Alrighty. So let's see. Next on the list, as I make the little time marker here, is the second anime I'm discussing today, or impressioning, is Inspectre. If you have been following the podcast, Hickey and I actually did a manga manhwa checkout.
Yes, and in that checkout, we actually made some, we made a few bets on how the anime would behave. I think it was a little bit later when it was announced, and we talked about the anime when it was announced, and we were like, man, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, we're like, man, it's very
dragged.
There's a lot of words spoken.
It's
a lot of dialogue, a lot of exposition.
A lot of nothing
But
really
luckily-
happening.
Right. Nothing just happens ever, right? But luckily, Brainsbase is the studio doing this. And who's actually the director?
Not Masaki Uasa, that's all that matters.
Not Masaki. Oof.
Keiji Goto. What else has he done?
Stuff and things.
He's known for Endride and Utakata. So, nothing of note, unfortunately.
Quality director.
Hold on.
Yeah, not quality stuff there. But anyways,
Let me take a look at that director. I just need to find him.
the summary is, both touched by spirits called yokai, Kotoko and Kuro have gained unique superhuman powers. But to gain her powers, Kotoko has given up an eye and a leg, and Kuro's personal life is in shambles. So when Kotoko suggests they team up to deal with renegades from the spirit world, Kuro doesn't have many other choices, but Kotoko might just have a few ulterior motives. Well, those ulterior motives are she wants in his pants bad. And at least from the comedy aspect, it does translate well from the manga to the anime here, which I quite enjoyed. Well, she is very straightforward in her affection for the older Kuro. We learn immediately that Kuro ate mermaid flesh, which gives him the ability to regenerate and not die, while he ate a second yokai flesh, and that kind of counteracts some of the effects mermaid flesh does. While
Cannibalism, not just once.
Right, well, you'll learn many more things later, the more the anime goes on. While Kotoko, when she was a child, yokai kind of took her away, and they wanted her to be kind of a mediator between other yokai and figure out their issues, more or less. In order to do this, she had to give up an eye and a leg. And because she does frequent hospital visits and the whatnot, Kuro is also there visiting a cousin, and that's how they kind of meet. Then after a couple years goes by, she learns that he has broken up with his longtime girlfriend, and that's when she just hops on that, her pheromones start busting out. She's like, all right, man, let's go out, let's do these things, and one thing leads to another, and they kind of end up teaming up together to face various yokai and try to figure out their problems, and it basically becomes a detective story, more or less, on how to interact between yokai or spirits of the like. And the first episode, I was like, all right, this is exactly what I was thinking it would translate to be. Hopefully it figures out how the crazy amount of dialogue is going to go into future episodes. And then in the second episode, where we meet this big lake serpent, and they're discussing how and why this one woman dumped a body in his lake, and what the anime does to counteract just plain exposition just being thrown at you the whole time. It goes through the motions of showing us now everything they're talking about, while the manga kind of did that. Everything's now very much in motion to show you a broader picture of everything happening, which actually ended up translating quite well, I believe. It's still very dialogue heavy, so if you're put off by that in that aspect, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're into more of a detective story with a spin of yokai and spirits involved, then I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I was very worried, and I had actually said during our checkout, I don't think the manga would translate well to be an anime at all because of how dialogue heavy it is, and I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So
I will definitely say this. I do not think this is a good show.
you don't think it's a good show?
No, I actually
also
think it's a
don't-
bad show.
I also don't think it's it's not bad, but it's also not good.
I think it's a bad, like,
Even-
especially
even
the
the
second
story,
episode.
It's just like
The second episode that I want to talk about is, like, you mentioned that they showcase something, right? And they do. The only problem I have with this is the fact that it's irrelevant. It's literally just there to showcase a fucking to suit the curiosity of this giant snake, which is utterly pointless. And at the end of the day, they don't even finish it in a single episode. It carries on to the third episode.
Yes,
it's like
it is dragged out.
I hate that.
It is dragged out, just like the manga.
It's very dragged out, just like the manga. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is definitely one of those that's like, I'm gonna give it a couple
There's
words.
a-
This is up first to be dropped. It's a bad show.
It is definitely, it is dialogue heavy, and it's not the fun type of dialogue heavy. And just like Tori said, there's going to be a lot of pointless things, especially when it comes to solving the case, because it's a true, it is a true detective story. Like it's
absolutely.
It's not
and that's
like
going to put off a lot of people.
Yeah, it's not like when you say detective story, usually you think something like or Sherlock Holmes. But with Sherlock Holmes story, like
there's action.
No, not even action. The Sherlock Holmes already has an idea of what happened, while in Spectre, God, fucking French. They don't have a slight idea of what is happening, right?
Well, no, that's not entirely true.
I mean, when they begin,
the parties.
Look, when we get to the Nana story of the idol who was killed in the accident and things, like they don't have the slightest idea. They went through so many different variations of what happened to her in the manga. There was like 70% of the story. While nothing was happening, they were just discussing theories of how this woman died and why there's that spirit going around killing things, and like it may not be killing things, it may be another, just coincidence and stuff like that.
It may be a person, it may be this, it may be that.
Because
they're trying to,
because they don't have the slightest idea of what's going on. I think the first story is
it's
not
all
like
brainstorming, right? It's brainstorming to come up with the most logical conclusion, and that's...
And then take action.
I know.
Yeah, but when it comes to detective stories, usually the detective guy... I mean, we have the Kabukicho Sherlock that is still going on. Usually the detective already has, when he hears about a case, he already has an idea of what is going on. Then he takes action to just, validate his theory, his only theory, and then he makes the adaptations if something is wrong. And this one, there's no detective guy or woman. They really need to...
Well, that's who she is.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, she's a mediator. She's not a detective. It's more like that.
But her mediating, she has to have these detective sleuthing abilities in order to appease...
Yes.
Take in all sides of the story and then come up with a logical conclusion to it all to solve the issue. That is the anime in a nutshell. And... Yeah, but because she doesn't have all the information, she has to learn it all.
The amount of brainstorming they do is because she's not a true detective. She's not a detective character. She might be in a detective kind of role, but she's not a detective-minded character. That's why they go through all the brainstorming, all the exposition, all the sitting and doing theories.
Well, it's just more dialogue than you are accustomed to. It's going to put off a lot of people. I don't think it's great by any means, but I thought this was going to be a dumpster fire of an anime. And I'm pleasantly surprised that it's not that dumpster fire. It's not, I don't think it's something you can truly binge because of how much you have to take in at one time or another. So maybe the dragging out process could benefit for a longer term of kind of processing all the information and brainstorming they're doing. I'm going to continue it, but definitely go into the anime with caution. Because if you're one of those that looks at a Ghost in the Shell type anime, you're like, man, they just talk forever. That's what this is.
I wouldn't even compare this to Ghost in the Shell. Not even
from the dialogue, Tori.
No,
for fuck's sake.
Even still, the dialogue in this show is still bad, because at the end of the day, what they're doing is, while they're brainstorming, it's essentially, like, in the second episode, what is she doing? She isn't brainstorming theories. She is just essentially just taking, like, well, this could have happened. And then the snake goes, no, there's not, because why then would she do this? And it's like, well, if she did that, then I guess maybe that's because of this. No, but that still doesn't make sense. Okay, then maybe this. Well, that doesn't make sense, but maybe this. Okay, but what about this then? Okay, maybe she did it because of that. And it's like, there is nothing to be gained there. It's just like essentially trying to satisfy somebody's curiosity as they keep asking, like,
well, that's
why
her
would she
job.
do this if it's
her
about
job
this?
Is to satisfy the snake.
But it doesn't change anything. Like, that's my problem. It doesn't, at the end of the day, it won't mean anything. It will be, okay, fine, now we can go back to sleep and they won't bother you anymore. Fan-fucking-tastic. Great job, next. No, I am not on board with this show.
Alright, well, you got all our opinions and impressions over it. Tori doesn't like it. I'm okay with it. And, Hickey, are you mildly okay with it?
I've watched the first episode, unfortunately. I couldn't watch more. I was busy with life, but like, it is exactly what I thought it would be. I'm watching people talk about it on Twitter and everywhere, and it's basically what I thought it would happen and how I expressed on this podcast of what it would happen. So
it's fine. The third most watched anime of the season, so that should tell you a lot about the season itself.
Yep.
Yeah,
story's good, it's just dragged out. There is a consensus on this.
Yes, that is undeniable. That is very true. Alright. Tori, you're next.
I am next. And what I have up next is a little show called Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica, aka Magic Records, Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica Gaiden. This is the Shaft show. It's going to be 13 episodes. It's based on the Madoka Magica mobile game. And the
shitty mobile game. Was it a tower defense game?
I don't remember. I don't know. I haven't played it. I don't care about it. But yeah, so the synopsis is: rumor has it that if a young girl strikes a bargain with a white fairy, it will grant any wish her heart desires. However, in exchange, she will become a magical girl and must put her life on the line to slay fearsome and ferocious witches. Iroha Tamaki, a kind-hearted middle schooler from Takarasaki City, is living proof that these rumors are true. Armed with a magical crossbow and the ability to heal injuries, Iroha seeks out the labyrinths where witches hide and defeats them before they can prey on humans. Yet Iroha has no memory of her wish, and even Kyubei, the white fairy himself, seems to have no idea what Iroha requested of him. One day, Iroha hears a rumor of a city where magical girls can be saved, and finds herself on a sunset train to Kamihama City. Unfortunately, she discovers that the witches in Kamihama are far more powerful than usual. After veteran magical girl Yachio Nanami is forced to save her, Iroha vows to never return. But when a chance encounter with a tiny Kyubei seems to trigger distant memories, Iroha is compelled to investigate the mysterious city despite the danger. And the reason why she decides to go back is because she gets memories of her wish, which seems to be of saving her little sister, which she doesn't know that she has. And she has limited information to go on, so she tries to find her little sister. So, after all these years, we have been waiting, for us that like Madoka Magica, we have been waiting for more Madoka Magica, and finally Shaft has produced it for us, in the form of an adaptation of a mobile game.
Great.
It is so sad, isn't it? Because you have, Chu manga, side stories, alternative stories of other magical girls. You have, 3 light novels, and they did the mobile game.
Yes, they did. I mean, in a way I can kind of understand them, because from what I understand, Madoka Magica, is, as far as its popularity in Japan is considered, has gone down considerably, considering the fact that it's been gone for so long. It's generally not even remembered anymore, which is kind of sad. So I understand that they probably felt the need to test the waters with this one, but it's kind of pointless. If you want more Madoka Magica, then, by all means, give this show a chance. But, it's not the Madoka Magica user. It's the same shaft visuals, but it's not. It's nowhere near what the original Madoka Magica was. It's nowhere near as dark. It's kind of cheery. Like, you get your typical things, like, we're all friends here, and then, friendship breaks off because when Iroha goes to Kamiyama City, she runs into a bunch of other girls, and, like, they have some friendship issues because one of the girls just is a piece of shit who can't stand trusting others or having relationship with other people, so she just keeps being upset with everyone and yelling at them and screaming at them and saying she don't want to be their friends anymore, despite the fact that everybody's just like, oh, no, let's be friends again, and then she starts causing more problems, and then blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Like, it's all kind of pointless in the end. It's not like a horrible show by all means. Like, from what it is, at the end of the day, it's a mobile game. It's fine. It's got a story at least you can follow, but it's not. It's not. For somebody who wants more Madoka Magica, it's very disappointing. It's not. This is not what I wanted. This is not the Madoka Magica that I remember. This is not the Madoka Magica that I like. It's just a show called Madoka Magica.
Oof.
So, yeah.
Hard F.
Bummer.
Half a shame.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched the first episode. I was like, the character, the main girl, was like, yeah. I mean, it was the same thing. I had to choose what shows I would watch. I decided to watch, not only Urashiman, but also the other two shows I'm about to talk about. I've watched the first episode of Magica Record. I was like, oof, this is not good.
Alrighty. Hickey, you are up for the next one.
Yeah, right. So, I'll be talking about the show called... Hold on. See? I need to do some stuff, but that's okay. I'll do it later.
You'll do it later or now or what? What's going on here? Tori, what do we do? I'm panicking.
I don't know.
All right. Well, screw Hickey then. Screw that guy. I will go into my review because he just muted himself. That was not clear at all. What just happened?
I guess his dad came in and he now has to do something. So.
I guess, yeah. He's an adult that must listen to his family. All right.
I mean, he lives at home, so it makes sense.
What a loser. He needs to live alone and be lonely. All right. I will go into mine then. It's Dorohedoro by Studio Mappa. The Woodworks have said this is a very strange anime.
Mm-hmm.
It is an action, fantasy, horror, mystery thing. Right? The city of Hull is a desolate town where magic users go to test their powers by, well, messing people up. Transforming them into reptiles, insects, whatever. After being cursed by a sorcerer, Kaimon was left with the body of a man and the head of a lizard. Determined to break the spell over him, Kaimon works with his companion Nikaido, who's a spunky, strong woman, to search for one who made him this way. Unfortunately, with no memory as to his assailant's identity, there's only one way for him to locate them. He must bite the head of any magic user he meets, so that the man hidden inside him can determine if they are the culprit. Okay, let me repeat that part. In order, because he has no memory of who he is and why, he has to bite the head of a sorcerer, so this dude that's living inside him, this, like, spirit, can identify the guy, correct. Did you get that?
I watched the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
so as he bites and slashes and kills his way through cruel magic users, will Kaimon be able to find out who the man in his mouth is, where the one he hunts is hiding, and return to normal while keeping the revengeful magic users at bay. And we learned pretty quick that if you kill a sorcerer, the sorcerer's spell will be lifted. So that's the curse there. Kaimon himself is not affected by magic, and that's what, as Nikaido and Kaimon are running about whole, basically killing these sorcerers, this crime syndicate or something or another that wear, what's that, Hellraiser? They wear basically Hellraiser masks. They get word that, these dudes are killing our guys, and this guy's invulnerable to magic, so we gotta take care of him. And it's kind of episodic with that just slight goal at the end of the tunnel. First episode is basically what the summary is. They just kind of introduce us the characters. The second episode runs into the third of knowing the bad guys that are after them. And the third episode is kind of a Day of the Living Dead situation. So they establish that once a year, any person that was killed by a sorcerer rises from the dead, and they have to kind of put them back. And it's a whole zombie episode, and there's the fight scenes are pretty cool. What will throw you off, at least it threw me off, was the animation. It's, at first, my reaction was this was another Berserk situation. And within about, I want to say 12 minutes, I got used to it and didn't notice a lot of its faults, or at least what made me kind of, everything seemed off at first. I got really used to it, and then it just didn't bother me anymore. So, this anime is super, super strange. I almost don't even know what to make of it after the first 3 episodes. It's very weird. The character designs are strange. Like, the heads are smaller than the bodies, and everyone's jacked. It's kind of off-putting itself in a way. The dialogue and how the characters interact with each other, something seems off to it about me. But at the end of the day, am I entertained, and am I curious to see more? Absolutely. But it's very violent. People getting cut in half and stabbed in the heart, jamming people's heads into walls, and it's by all definitions anime.
Yeah,
I thought
I'm disappointed in the CG in this show. Like,
yeah, it's that weird Berserk type stuff.
Yeah, Mappa is a good studio, but there's one thing I can say with them for certain: they are absolutely fucking terrible at CG. And that shines through here as well. The CG in this show is not good. And in particular, like, for some characters, it's not that bad. But one character that really fucking gets it is, like, is the main female character. Because she is supposed to be, a fairly attractive lady. Bigger, muscular, but a fairly attractive lady. A very attractive lady. But I just can't get past her fucking face. It looks like she got smashed against the wall. It is completely flat. It's just, why? It's like, I don't understand how that passed through. How they were like, yep, that's good. This is it. This is our character. Fucking why?
Berserk got out of the quality control, so anything is possible.
I mean, Berserk did not get out of the quality control. Berserk failed every quality control, but the fact of the matter was that they just didn't have time to make anything else. Because they kept changing everything all the fucking time. Because the fucking director and whoever was in charge just kept changing their mind. Like, actually, I don't want it like this. I want it like this. No, never mind. Change that back again. Actually, no, I don't like that. Let's do something different. No, actually, you don't scrap this. So, like, they never got out of that.
There is a pretty cool moment in the show, and this is kind of what's drawing me in the most right now, is this dude that's living inside the reptile, right? Reptile man, Kaimon. At one point, his head gets cut off, right? And and it does grow back, so he has like the full lizard properties, which I found pretty funny. He agrees to dissect the head, and as this is happening, like the lights go out, you start hearing the voice of the dude, and then the head disappears, and you can see shadows, and so there's a big mystery behind this shadow dude, and what his purpose is there's so many unknowns, but this mystery is what's drawing me in. And yeah, the CG, the animation, it's off-putting, but I did get used to it, while I never got used to the Berserk stuff. So I imagine why a lot of people aren't watching this or giving it a try is because of this CG animation style that they're doing. Because the show itself is fun and intriguing.
I think it also just it's a case of just a lot of people don't know about this show. Like, they don't know about they're not familiar, right? Because it's fairly, for a lot of people, it will be fairly obscure. Like, I assume, like, obviously I know a lot of fans of the manga is disappointed of it because of its style, but I do know, like, it's one of those things, like, if you're not specifically into this manga, I don't think a lot of people know what this even is, which doesn't help the case.
Yes.
It doesn't appeal to a lot of people. It looks weird. And then
I suppose
you look up the mangaka, and you might
not.
You think to yourself, like, who, right? So it's like there's not much to go by in that regard. But
still, I'm looking at the season here, and I'm seeing a lot of these other anime. I'm like, why is this one so much lower, and while others are higher than it? Is it just because it's so different that people aren't giving it a chance? It doesn't have that basic I came from another world, or it's not cute girls doing cute things thing. Do you think it has a lot to do with that?
I think it belongs to a different kind of audience. It belongs to something that just doesn't translate. It doesn't do well in anime anymore, right? Like, it's a work that's kind of stuck in the past, if that makes sense. Like, the reason why I was pointing out the mangaka so much was because it's written by, it's made by Q Hayashida, who's a former assistant of Tsutomu Nihei, the guy behind, like, Knights, what's it called? Knights of Sidonia, Blame, those things, right? So it's like, I feel like it's too removed from what people
it's weird
expect from, like, because we have, like, a certain expectations of what modern anime is. Like, it's polished, it's kind of straightforward,
sure.
It tells, like, a narrative, like a fairly straight narrative, not too many like weird corners, nothing too weird. Like, we're trying to push down, like, we're trying to get rid of that, like, anime is a weird thing, right? We need to kind of hide that a little bit more and be like, it's not that weird, it's more normal. Yeah, right. And then you have Dorohedoro, which just like, fuck that.
I mean, Dorohedoro, I can't say that name. The lizard guy, the romance manga with a lizard man. It is almost graphic novel like.
I suppose, yeah.
It's something else.
One way to put
it's
it.
very niche. The manga ended, so I think the anime will cover the whole story. But even the manga is very niche like. Joe, the former host, really likes it. So he talked to me. He's like, "Oh no, you look at it and there's people dying left and right, and it's a very nice romance manga." I was like, "What? What do we mean romance?"
I mean, I suppose there's hints between Nikaido and Kaimon right away, and
I think you're gonna see more of that later on.
I wonder how that's gonna work out.
And then, like, I've read it. I was like, "Oh, this is manga, but it's not manga. It is unique, I guess. It's not weird, just unique. And uniqueness can be good at some points and very bad to other points. And this show is usually on the bad points of the uniqueness. Not that it makes it a bad show or a bad story or a bad manga. It's just way too unique to gather an audience or a following behind it.
It's like that.
So, if this sounds like something you're interested in and want to kind of see what all the fuss is about and why it's so weird, and definitely check it out. I'll be continuing it just based on that whole mystery curiosity, and the world's very strange.
Yep.
So you got one more thing to say?
Yeah, the last thing I just want to say is it's kind of reminds me of the same situation that like Flip Flappers found itself in. The Magical Girl show from 2017, right?
I can see that.
It's like it's a really good show, really well put together show, a really fun show to watch. But for onlookers who don't know, because like in that case it was an original, but like that kind of hurts it, right? Because you're looking for like that uniformity theme. Like, is this a magical girl? Yes, but also no. It's kind of has horror elements, a little bit comedy, a little bit. It has a lot of different styles. Like it works together once you watch it. But when people see it, like they don't find that like thing that drags them in. It's like it's a magical girl, but it's not a magical girl. It's this, but not this. It's that, but not this, right? So it's like you're like, do I even want to give this show a chance? And I feel like that's a lot of the same with Dorohedoro. It's like, what is this really? It's hard to tell.
Alrighty. Hickey, before you left, you were going to talk about an anime.
Yes, I was. Unfortunately, my family doesn't know what being busy means, at least when it comes to me, so they just came in demanding that I did a bunch of things. And then that whole conversation basically ended up with me telling my father to go fuck himself, but in Portuguese.
Oh, God. How nice.
Look, I'm busy. I told him, I'm busy. I can't do anything. What he does? Busy. You being busy.
Busy? You're not doing anything. You're just talking to weebs. You're not busy. Come on.
Yeah, and so he asked me to do some stuff. I said, no, I won't.
It's like you can do it in about 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
and I told him, you can do it yourself. He's like, no, but I need to go out. I was like, no, you don't. You can wait 5 minutes and do what you told me to do. So basically, it just ended with me telling him to go fuck himself. Regardless, yeah. So I was going to talk about my second show before that thing happened, which is...
Should have taken his lunch money while you were at it.
Probably, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have steel on me right now. Yeah, unfortunately. I'll talk about 22/7, which is should be read as Nanabu no Nijuni. It is an idol show, but it is a weird mystery idol show. Okay. Oh my God, JD sent a message. I thought my internet went out again. Basically, the synopsis is really bad. The synopsis on my anime list just says TV anime series for the idol group 22/7. Technically, it's not wrong. It's just there's a lot of information missing. Basically, 22/7 is a multimedia project done by a bunch of different companies, majorly Aniplex and Sony Music Records. Hold on.
Am I allowed now? Oh no. This is turning into a little bit of a disaster. Oh man.
I'll be looking at places to rent starting next week because this is unbearable. So basically in 2018, going in with the virtual YouTubers trend, those companies had a very interesting idea. They said, why not we do an idol group, but they are all anime characters. We will hold auditions to the characters, and then they'll just be an idol group. With that, they also started that was in 2017. They released a few musics, and in 2018 they started doing a variety program on YouTube, which is still going, so you can watch it, and it's fairly fun. Basically, now there's an anime about this idol group, and it tells the story of these, I don't know how many girls there are, 1, 2, I think 13 girls, 12 girls. They one day they just receive a invitation to go to the zoo, meet at the zoo, and be selected to be part of this idol group. So basically, it is very weird. A very large man in a suit appears and says, "Congratulations, you are now this idol group. Follow me. We are going to a secret facility under this zoo."
All right.
It is highly Men in Black kind of focused. It is weird. They don't explain a lot of things. So basically, they get changed into the idol costume, and asked to stay in a room while after they went through all the facilities in that secret organization thing, and they at the end they go to this room with this very sophisticated wall, almost religious like symbolic wall, and the guy just says, "This is the wall. Its will is absolute." Zero explanation. Basically, this wall prints down some metal plates with borders, and the organization, and for some reason said this secret organization had to make an idol group out of these girls. So it is basically it is the SpongeBob episode where they got lost and listened to a shell toy, but it is the shell toy is a wall, and there's an idol group. It is really weird. Reminds me of the Idolmaster Shana Glossia. So I'm giving it a try. I'm thinking so far it's very funny, very interesting, well animated. The only problem really is the character design, because the character design was the guy who basically designs anything Kyoto Animation, and I really don't like his art style. But it's very funny. The girls they are still not well fleshed out, I guess, since it's an idol group and kind of a virtual idol group. It kicks off the virtual idol thing, and not the virtual YouTuber, but virtual idols. You are kind of expected to go into the anime knowing a little bit of this, especially because you can watch them on YouTube. They've been doing little TV program kind of things for 3-4 years now. And because of that, the characters are not well fleshed out, except the main girl, who has a bunch of internal conflicts and doesn't want to be an idol because she thinks idols are dumb. But yeah,
of course,
it is a interesting sci-fi and mystery show about a bunch of people following the wheels of a wall.
Yeah, of course, idol shows, right?
Yeah, which the wall decided to make an idol group. I give it a try.
Patriarchy.
Give it a try. It has good music. It has good animation. The characters, I can say much, except the wall. The wall has shit taste, but you get used to it. Yeah.
Has it at least got a funny voice?
No, it just prints a plate. That's all the wall does. The wall prints a plate.
That's the worst.
They pick the plate up, and there's this. The producer is just this buff guy, really tall and really muscular. He just takes the plate and say, "The wall said you guys need to make a live this day," and they're like, "But we just met." The guy's like, "But the wall's order is absolute." Which is sometimes is very weird because, for example, in the second episode, I believe the wall said they should. The wall said they should choose a center. So, to choosing a center, the wall gave a bunch of orders. The girls will be in the idol costume. They will be evaluated by the trainers, which also are kind of it is almost a code, right? It feels like I'm describing a code.
You're talking about idols.
Yeah, well, that is true. Oh, that is the meta language of this. Okay. So they would be evaluated by the trainers and the producer. And so like they do those things, and the main girl can't do it. She can't dance because she thinks idol are dumb, and she's highly insecure. So she doesn't want to participate. And they go out, and the trainers go to the producer and say, "Why are we doing this? What is the point of this?" And the guy's like, "I don't know. The wall just told us to do this." So right after that, the wall prints a plate and say, "All right, the main girl who really thinks idol are dumb, can't sing well and can dance because she's way too insecure, is the center of the group." I was like, so why is the point of telling your employers or cultists to sit down and evaluate the girls if you're gonna print a plate, which is an absolute order that must be followed? This show is so I'm enjoying the show. It is fun. It is actually very fun. It is not a dumpster pop fire. Like when they talk about how the things happen in the show might sound like a bad show, but it's actually not. It's highly interesting and very entertaining. Oh man, the wall. Unfortunately, the wall has shit taste. But aside that, it is fine.
Doesn't even have a funny voice. I can't watch this show.
No, dude, come on, watch it. It is something else. I cannot wait for the conclusion to what is the wall and what is that organization.
What is the wall? Yeah. All right. So I guess we can take my last show and then we'll go into Hickey's last show after.
Correct, because, sir. Right, you are.
This is already a train wreck of an episode.
Yeah.
Nah, come on. It's totally fine. Things will get totally cut out, at least family. For some things.
Now my brother asked me to do... Why people in my house think I don't know anything? Like...
Well, you're the lawyer. They need consultation.
Yeah. And now I told my father, then I told my brother to go fuck themselves. So, yeah. And now after this episode, I'll be looking to places to rent.
All right.
I could always use a roommate in the island of Rhodes, Hickey.
Look, JD, I'm not going to the US.
Come on.
I actually don't even have the money to buy the fucking ticket to go to the
save
US.
up the money and move to the US.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, there we go. There's a plan. We got a plan, Tori. You're next.
I'm not next. Shut
Leave
up.
your free healthcare and you're already kicked out of the service industry. What else you got to lose?
It's not a free health. Anyways, so
There's
yeah,
no
okay.
free meals.
Exactly. No. Anyways, my final show that I want to talk about is a show called Runway de Waratte, or Smile Down the Runway. It's a show by Studio Esola, who I've never heard of. It's a slice of life, drama, school, and shonen. And the reason why I point that out is because the synopsis you might not expect shonen from this synopsis. Runway de Waratte starts with the story of Fujito Chiyuki, an aspiring fashion model and daughter of a fledgling modeling agency, Milniege. Ever since she was little, Chiyuki's dream was to be the star model of her dad's agency and perform at Paris Fashion Week. With great looks and a gifted environment, it seemed like she was on the right track to fulfill her dream. But she soon found herself faced with a seemingly insurmountable wall, when her height stopped growing at 158 centimeters, too short to be a professional model. Although Chiyuki is still kept on believing in herself for years, despite everyone telling her it's impossible, Chiyuki's resolve starts to crumble as she enters her last year of high school. This is when she meets Tsumura Ikuto, a lame classmate with a surprising talent for designing clothes, who is also considering giving up his dream due to unfortunate circumstances. Together, they begin the journey of doing the impossible in order to realize their dreams. So, yeah, this is a story about a fashion model and a clothes designer. And, when I looked at this show, when I saw this show on the list, I thought to myself, okay, this isn't something I'm going to watch, this isn't something I'm interested in. And then I scrolled down a little bit further and I looked at genres, and I see shonen. So, meaning that this is for a male demographic. And I thought to myself, really? Okay. And that got me prompted into watching this show, because I was like, how are they going to make a show about modeling into a shonen show? Which then became kind of apparent, because the story is more about the guy who wants to be a clothes designer. But I mean, it's essentially both of them, but like he is essentially the main character. And Chiyuki is also a main character, but she's doing her own thing. And I mean, let's be real, she is technically already a professional model, but just she can't be like top model. And she did get fired, but she promptly got her job back, so not like that really mattered. But yeah, no, it's essentially just like a lot of other shows. It's just a show about following your dreams. Like, just do what you want to do. Don't let anybody get in your way, and then just, try to make the best out of it. Try to make the best out of a shitty situation, because Ikuto, who wants to design clothes, his situation is that, not that he can't go to university, but he won't go to university, which in order to become a fashion designer, you need to have studied fashion design. That's just part of the industry. And he refuses to go to university because his family is really poor. And his sister, or his two older sisters, have already given up going to universities despite being literal geniuses. Well, one of them was, at least. Have both of them decided to not go to university, and in order to, not put the burden onto, or in order to not take any opportunities away from him. But he also has a younger sister who is also okay and stuff. And he kind of is in the same position as his two older sisters. He doesn't really want to, because the family can't really afford to send them all to university. So he kind of just makes the decision that he doesn't want to take that opportunity away from his little sister, which is why he won't go to university, which is why he just wants to go into workforce. And, he doesn't really want to follow his dream because he can't really do it. But when, once he meets Chiyuki, and because of his clothes, his weird design and whatnot, and she actually manages to get her job back and whatnot, and Chiyuki is kind of thanks for that, helps him introduce Ikuto to her father, who runs Milniash, and try to convince him to let Ikuto work for him as a designer. And he is very into that idea until he learns that he isn't going to go to university, in which case, sorry, rules are rules, can't do it. But instead, he decides, once Ikuto builds up the courage to kind of ask again, this time on his own premises, instead of Chiyuki's lies, because goddammit does Chiyuki like lying. She is your stereotypical popular girl after all. He kind of, builds up the courage, makes himself a nice suit, and goes, suit. A nice pair of clothes, and he tries again. And he manages to convince Chiyuki's dad to at least give him a chance. So he kind of ushers him into professional work for another guy who's, let's see if his name is here. I don't think it is. Okay, anyways, I don't remember his name. But he used to work for Milniash as a designer, but he kind of branched out to do his own thing, start his own company, and he is trying to make it big. And the idea is to try to convince him, because he needs workers. The problem there is that this guy's a fucking asshole, and he doesn't like anyone. So convincing him is hard, but they do get chances, and kind of moves from that. So, subject matter aside, this is not a bad anime. Like, obviously, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It's still, it's still about modeling after all, and clothes designing. It's not exactly everybody's cup of tea. It's not something I'm particularly interested in either. It's not a field I'm interested in, but, the show itself, it's a pretty okay show. And with the lackluster selection of anime we have this season, this one might actually be one of the better ones, which I was not expecting.
I totally skipped that show. I was like, I stopped at the name.
Yeah,
it's like,
same pretty much.
I was like, Runaway.
I just literally was just
Runway
to Waratte.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
like, what? Is this a journey kind of anime? Like, smiling by, like, it's not smiley on. It's like smiling by the runaway.
Yeah,
it's not like the English name. I guess the English name is better than the actual Japanese name. The Japanese name is like smiling by like. Is this about like planes and stuff?
Nope, fashion models.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, it's. I don't know. Like, I'm not hating the show. I'm enjoying it enough. Like I said, Chiyuki's a little bit annoying because, I mean, they nailed the stereotypical popular girl in high school, at least, because she is not particularly bright. She is very selfish. She doesn't really care about anybody else. She's very, very, very determined. Like which is probably. I mean, that's her strong side. Like, she is extremely determined. Like, she has been trying to get the job when her dad fired her from Illinois, and she has been trying to get that job back for literal years. And she just keeps showing up there to, like, try to get hired again, being interviewed by the same people every time, and then it's just, like, rejected. I mean, like, I guess that's a strong suit. She doesn't give up easily, at least. But, it's not like she gets the job. It's not like she's going to get the job back until, obviously, she gets the job back. But she's still not allowed to become, like, a top model, because again, too short. And it's just like it's just like sports anime. It's an underdog story. Like, you're not expected, and nothing is expected out of you. You're not going to make it, and then all of a sudden it's just like, wait, hold on, they might actually make it. Damn, who could think that somebody who is not 180 centimeters plus tall and can be a model, and a guy who didn't go to university can make clothes? It's incredible. Who would have thought?
Are you passing this or not?
I'm passing it. I just said it.
Okay.
I think it's one of the better shows this season, which is saying a lot about this season, but still.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I think that's something we've each reiterated.
Well,
yep.
Unfortunately, now it's time for the best show of the season.
Oh no. You saved this for last on purpose.
Yeah, it is already legendary. 4 episodes out, and Funimation decided to drop it, and they won't be streaming it anymore.
Yeah, not just Funimation. This isn't just a Funimation decision. This is a Sony decision. Sony has decided to cancel it on all their streaming services.
Sony
not even the censored version. They can't stream any of it anymore.
This show is the best. Oh my god,
Wow.
This show is
incredible.
This shows me. First of all, it has the best opening of the season by far. The music's really nice. The sequences and everything else is also very, very funny. We're talking, of course, of the show that went from "I can't believe it's not hentai" to "this is literally hentai." Ishizoku reviewers.
Funimation's page right now.
Ishizoku reviewers. Well, I mean, I don't know what happened. Like, people were speculating to what is happening because the show I think it was expected to get a dub. So I think it was because of the dubbing. They was like the characters, like everyone didn't want to dub the show, so they just dropped it. But yeah, the synopsis is: in our world, the human race constantly debates about several important issues, such as which grows the best grow. Well, I mean, that is a very important decision. How good is something as fapping material? Which fetish is the sexiest? That is something I debate on a regular basis.
Of course you do.
Interesting enough. Look, you were usually there, Tori. Why are you saying...
I know. That's why I said, of course you do.
Why did you use we if you were there?
Oh my god, it is gone from Funimation.
Yes.
Anyway,
it said Sony removed it.
Yeah.
The same Wakanim did the same thing. They literally released a statement today that said, because of our partner's decision, we've had to remove the show. We'll no longer be streaming it.
Yeah, which is weird because they stream things that are honestly worse than this one. But I guess because this one is explicit prostitution.
Yeah, it's not suitable for a Western market.
But yeah, basically, the synopsis: accompany these great warriors as present us with different girls, different opinions, different bonders. Oh my god. And show us that the fantasy world may not be all that different from ours. Hold on. We don't go around reviewing prostitutes. here. But anyway, yeah, basically the show is about mainly two guys. Well, three if we count the angel, but I won't count him. Majorly two guys, Stunk and Zell. Stunk is a human. He's a noble-born child. Didn't want to be a noble, got kicked out, started to go around in adventures and became a famous adventurer and very famous in the red light district as well. And Zell, which is a 300-year-old elf. So basically they were having a discussion to which is better, a 600-year-old elf, which looks really nice, or a 70-year-old woman. In this world, the prostitution is allowed, but only to succubus. The problem is, there's so many interspecies sex through the ages that everyone has a little bit of succubus in them. So you have many brothels of any race imaginable.
As it should be.
So so basically they go to two friends and ask them, look, write a review on the elf and on the human. And we're gonna see and give it a score, and we'll see, which one has the biggest score, and post it on the bulletin board of the guild, or like the bar they are always in.
The quest board.
The quest board.
Here are our quests and also our prostitute reviews.
Yeah. So like they come to the conclusion, and
they make more money doing that than they do
people
doing
start
quests.
paying them because they're selling copies of it. And they're like, dude, we don't need to go on adventures anymore because we're winning so much money, and we can use this money to go to the red light district, have sex with prostitutes, review them, and post on the dashboard. This is
great.
This is basically the show. Then they save an angel later, which apparently has a really huge dick.
Yeah, of course.
And
me
and JD reviewed the manga on the podcast before. That is also that.
It was very fun.
Yeah,
Mangamon will check out over that show.
Yeah, of course. I'm watching the uncensored version, which is
as you should.
As you should. The show is great. The show got banned. Like if a show is banned, it means it is really good. You should check out if you are, at least 16 in this case. But yeah, that is basically the show. It's just those guys going around and reviewing Monster Girls. Very fun show, very interesting, and actually very informative. A really big problem we had with the manga is, at least which I had, was the review part. Because they give a huge review. Not only the characters reviewing and talking about it, but also the written review usually is like 10 to 20 lines. Really huge. A lot of explanation, highly detailed explanation on things you never thought you would see. And JD, I think, had the same problem with it. So the anime is nice because the characters are narrating the review as well. They change the animation of the review of each review they do. So at one time they've been shown, like, as they are narrating the review, they were playing bowling. So like, and the review was like the amount of pins they hit. The other ones, like, they're actually writing on a table in candlelight. It is very, very fun. It is really good. Unfortunately,
so I just typed in Twitter Funimation Interspecies reviewers, and this is just glorious.
Yes, because dude,
like, I'm looking at a screenshot of a character with panties over his face, just going cockadoodle pussy.
Yeah.
Funimation cancels Interspecies reviewers dub and removes the streaming for, quote, falling outside of their standards.
Oh, wow. I wonder why you then picked it up in the first place.
Yeah, I mean,
imagine if you would have quality checked your show beforehand.
Hey. How dare you say quality show this thing? This thing is perfect.
People calling them now cowards, and
because
apparently
a lot
of people
weird. it was weird because they streamed and I think dubbed Valkyrie Mermaid,
Yeah.
which is
they
literally a
did.
show about woman having sex and orgasming, then becoming
Yeah, but you don't understand, Hickey. It's not about that. It's about the fact that they're prostitutes. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah. and
Prostitution is illegal, don't you know?
prostitution is not illegal, actually, in most places.
Prostitu-
The act of putting, like, you prostituting yourself is not illegal in most places.
Well, yes, but buying sex is illegal.
No, as long as you film it, it's okay.
Yeah, well, that's in America.
Not really. Actually, buying for sex here, at least, it is not. Like, the prostitution part is not, and the client is also not. The crime is putting someone to prostitute themselves. So, being the pimp is illegal. But being a prostitute and buying for sex is not illegal. At least here. I think it's in Japan. I don't know.
I'm on a retweet binge on my Twitter, just all these people calling out Funimation.
Oh, my God.
Interspecies reviewers.
Yeah,
But it
but
doesn't help calling out Funimation. You're going to have to call out Sony because this is a Sony decision.
yeah, but like this is a hard, ecchi. I can't believe it's not hentai. Episode 3, which they became woman.
Oh, there's a
and they-
petition for Sentai Filmworks to now pick it up for High Dive.
Oh,
Man, listen,
yes.
that's-
I mean,
Actually,
dude.
it would be funny if somebody did that. It's just like, imagine if they just came out and they were like, "Yep, we managed to get the uncensored version too."
All right, how many?
Yeah, I
how many
mean, I
names are
think
in this
I think
petition?
it was the two first episodes were okay. The really big problem was the third episode. I can't believe the third episode was in television. Like, because the third episode, it is in the manga is very nice because they go to the sex change thing. So like they just drink a potion and become a woman, so they can have experiences with as a woman will have. That is the studio, which is Passione, a studio that you cannot expect, like you cannot hold the expectations on Passione because what they do don't make any sense. Like they did Roka no Yusha, the new High School DxD, Isle of Giant Insects, Moe shows, and now they are responsible for like Ishuku reviewers, and then they make the new Higurashi anime. So like, you honestly don't know what they're
What
gonna.
you're telling me, Hickey, is that they're the greatest studio of all time.
Yeah, no, they're just a wild card.
I just signed the petition that I just saw on Twitter for
To make
High Dive to
Sentai.
pick the show up.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if
Sentai to pick it up.
the High Dive Twitter would have a really nice time if they show. They would just retweet it, like, oh, oh my god, yeah. But like, the third episode, they went further than the manga. Like the manga didn't show anything. Like what happened. The Passione guys, they really liked this manga, and they went, there was some. They even had to do censoring in the censor version, so just so you know how bad it was. Man, this show is amazing. I'm so glad I'm alive to experience this. Like honestly,
Experiencing true culture.
if you like hard ecchi, or if you don't mind the ecchi or the theme of this show, it is still a extremely funny anime.
If you're a big fan of porn.
Yeah, it is extremely funny. If you are into Monster Girls, which is my case, it is also very nice, very informative for some reason, interestingly enough. So yeah, give it a hard pass. This one is, watch it. If it's banned, you should watch it because it means it's good.
I'm going to Nia right now to see if it's available.
It is. The uncensored
It
version
is
is.
available. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that sounds glorious.
best
It's a must watch.
best opening because it's kind of a parody on
Oh, there it is.
YMCA.
Ichizoku reviewers, uncensored.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to have to need at least 10 minutes here to, watch this anime.
Takes more than 10 minutes, JD, to watch an episode. It's 20 minutes.
20. That's what I said. Yeah. I don't need 5 or 10 or
20.
right.
I can keep going. Once I start, I can keep going.
I could just go on this massive binge. I might need to take a break and have a Gatorade in between, but you know. All right. Good times. Good times.
Man.
I think that was the one we talked about the most.
I wonder why. I mean, Hickey did also talk a lot about 22/7 because
because the show.
Can't shut up about idols.
It is 22/7 is weird.
And it's an idol show, and you can't shut up about idols.
That is true.
2 things you cannot shut up about: World War II stuff, tanks, and idols.
Well, I mean, I also spend a lot of time talking about Napoleonic era artillery pieces.
Yeah.
Here we go. Drop,
some
and we
books
gotta
about
move
it.
on, guys.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Midnight submarine.
There we go. Yes. Future Police, Urashiman. Urashiman, Future Police, Tori.
Yay.
Have you heard that enough in your lifetime?
Yeah, no. Never.
Studio, Tatsunoko Production, better also known for doing Speed Racer, Macross, etc., lots of shows. Director is Koichi Mashimo, whom has done Dominion Tank Police and Irresponsible Captain Tyler. Released in winter 1983, it spans 50 episodes, and it played throughout the entire year of 1983, and no more years after that. Summary taken from Anime Planet. After being thrown off a bridge in a car chase, mistake 1, he drove straight off it. A delinquent youth is transported decades into the future by a mysterious phenomenon called a time slip. Arriving in the year 2050, he finds Tokyo a completely different place, complete with theme song that will drive you crazy.
And the Neo at the beginning. It is Neo Tokyo.
Oh, Neo Tokyo! With everything from high-tech automobiles and laser guns to zero-G discos. Because disco is not dead.
Disco will never die. I don't know
Disco will never die. Unfortunately, the time slip also erases his memory, because of course it does, and transforms him into the Urashiman. Oh, we'll get into that part. A human with astounding new superpowers. Now everyone is after him, including the chief of Neo Tokyo's mobile police unit. We'll get into that as well. Who wants the Urashiman to help him fight the powerful crime syndicate Necrime. Renamed Ryo Urashiman, and with new friends Claude and Sophia, the former delinquent must now fight for justice and discover the secret of his past. Okay. Where do we begin?
Well, the name Urashiman...
This show's bad.
The name Urashiman is a reference to the legend of Urashima Taro. Basically, I think...
Oh, we're going way at the beginning here.
I think most of you... Well, look, I cannot shut up about history and idols and tanks and a lot of things. Ships, yes. That is true. I often also take pictures of them. Regardless. Basically, Urashima Taro is a fisher. He saves a turtle, and the turtle say, "Hi, I talk, and you want to go to a banquet with the gods?" He's like, "Oh,
Underneath
shit."
the sea.
Wait, wasn't this a story in
Yes.
Rakugo
Dragon
Shinju?
Ball.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there too. I mean,
okay.
it's a very popular folktale in Japan.
Yep.
Okay.
It's there's many different versions, including not limited to the time travel version of it, which is when Urashima Taro returns to the surface and 400 years have passed. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is basically, that's why it's Urashiman. Because, he's Urashima Taro, even though he didn't marry a turtle, which was a actually very beautiful woman. And magic. And he wasn't, transported you 400 years in the future, just 60, I think. No, like 90. Yeah, something like that.
1983 to 2050.
Yeah, I mean, almost 90 years.
We're kind of at that midway point. No, we're a little over the midway point in between him. So he's going through the time slip as we speak.
Yeah, definitely.
With his Beetle car, because it's 1983. He has a Beetle.
So this episode,
he has a Beetle in Japan. Hold on, that is rare.
Weird in itself.
I just realized that German cars weren't that prolific in Japan. How did he get a Beetle?
Probably bought it or stole it.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know.
These are the questions that
he was being chased by the police, so we don't even know if he bought the car.
Well, he said he just doesn't have a license, and that's why he's trying to escape the police.
So he definitely stole it. Got it.
Okay. Well, he didn't say that. He said specifically he doesn't have a driver's license. He probably just got it from his dad or something.
Yeah, he stole it.
It's like, I'm going out on a rambunctious ride. Oh shit, there's the police. Drive off a cliff. Into the future he goes, and
listen, JD, just because the car might have been his dad does not mean he didn't steal it. If he took it without permission,
it's his dad's
and he can't
car.
drive it, it's a stolen vehicle.
I suppose technically you're right.
It's not his vehicle. He took it from somebody else. It's a stolen vehicle. It's not like, oh, but they're related. It's a stolen vehicle.
All right, so we could break down how the summary is totally inaccurate with what the story is. Okay, so first off, he's called an Urashiman and has astounding new superpowers. No, he doesn't.
We don't know.
He has none of those things.
We don't know. Like, they say the Urashiman has powers, but everyone is
I don't even know.
Do you have powers? And he's like, I don't know. I don't even know who I am.
I don't even understand how the fuck they come up with the time traveler has superpowers. I'm sorry, do you have experience with time travelers before? I thought he was the first one.
Exactly. They just assume he has superpowers, and then they make him part of this one. They say chief of Neo Tokyo's mobile police unit. Well, as far as we're concerned, there is no mobile police unit. It's just this dude with a cigarette. He just goes, you're the time traveler. You're going to be part of my unit. You, the guy who the time traveler ran into, you're going to be part of the unit. Oh, and this girl who wants to be a priest but failed at it? You join in too. 3-person team. That seems like enough to fight the biggest crime syndicate in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's fucking. I don't even know. I wouldn't even be
Once
shocked
again,
if it turns out
the Japanese will fight the guy. Whoa, hold on, wait a second.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't even be shocked if the fucking police guy, the fucking police chief, if it turned out that he was actually the Führer the entire time.
It wouldn't shock. So the way we went about this,
he is also fucking interested in Urashiman. So I'm just like, I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised.
He actually just has a split personality this whole time.
Sure.
I don't know. That's putting way too much thought into this anime. So the way we went about this as a group here, as a podcast, we're like, hey, we got this future police Urashiman available on High Dive to watch. How much are we going to watch of this show for the podcast? And we all kind of nonchalantly agreed, however many we can watch in 2 weeks or feel like. So I watched 13. Hickey watched 15.
I watched 10.
And Tori watched 10. So
I mean,
not even that. I watched 4 more episodes. Fuck you. I watched 4 more episodes yesterday because fucking I was ready to drop this show after 3 episodes. I summoned my way through another 3 episodes, and then I just gave up on the show. And I'm like, I'm watching 4 more episodes before we're doing this, but fucking I can't. I have better things to do with my life.
Yeah,
I was gonna binge watch a bunch a couple weeks ago and then just call it good, but I noticed immediately this comes across as like a Saturday morning cartoon show.
It is.
So it's
exactly what it is. It is a Hanna-Barbera show.
Yeah, I totally agree with that kind of comparison there. So I watched 3, and then I just found myself watching 1 a night after that, and I was like, well, Friday night, I'll watch 1 more, and hey, it's podcast day, so I watched 13.
Yeah, I was going to watch 25, but life got in the way, so I couldn't watch it. But I have I'm still thinking of watching it up to 25.
Ugh.
I mean, at
episode
15, they kind of started. I wasn't paying much attention at episode 15.
Well, no shit.
But like Ludovic, which is one of the number 2 of the crime organization, Nef Crime, he was going on his own vendetta-esque arc thing.
Well, in episode 13, this dude Ludovic, they go over like his past with getting a lot of money and fish hooking a woman, and then she kills herself. But there's actually some character development there. It's the only one in the show.
No way.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, "I will someday control Necrime." Like, okay, cool guy. That's why they kept fucking the psychic, like fucking Milan or however, Milan, just kept being like, "But you're the number 2 guy in Necrime, aren't you satisfied?" That every time just pans on his face, like just sitting there all stone faced, like it's like this guy's clearly. Have you seen this guy? Have you seen the way this guy acts? This guy's clearly not happy being number 2. Fuck you. Nah, he doesn't. He's always drinking the purple goopy wine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, much like in Harlock.
What is up? Yeah, what is up with old anime and goopy purple?
The thick magenta colored wine.
Yeah, what is up with that?
I don't know what's up with that.
Should that
Everyone
be
did
wine?
it.
But it can't be wine.
It's grape juice, Hickey. God.
It can be grape juice as well. I mean, I never seen Norwegian grape juice. Might as well be.
So, Tori.
Yes.
Before we started the podcast, you described this episode, I think, quite well. And how would you describe, or not episode, the show, how would you describe episode to episode how Urashiman Future Police goes?
Okay, so essentially, the most interesting part of this show is when Urashiman is fucking time traveling. And I say that because that happens once. That's when he's thrust into the future. That's probably the biggest change in episodes. After that, it is literally just crime of the week. Crime of the week, crime of the week, crime of the week. Let's go and solve this. Let's go and solve it. Let's fail at that. And it literally feels like after 3 episodes, I was sick and tired of the show. Because I feel like I just watched the same episode 2 times in a row. Because the first episode was a little bit different. 2 times in a row. I watched 3 more episodes. All of a sudden, now I watch the same episode 5 times. I go up to 10 episodes. I have watched the same episode 10 times. Sure, some events change, but it always stays the same. And,
really.
I want to compare it to, when I compare it to other episodic anime, let's take one that I love a lot, Lupin the Third. Lupin the Third does a lot of the same, but Lupin the Third likes to vary stuff up, at least a little bit. They do change stuff here and there. They do change the approach. They change minor stuff, they change characters, they change... A lot of things change to keep making you interested. Urashiman literally feels like it's playing on the same jokes, the same fucking concept, the same... Just over and over and over and over. And just to keep reminding you, because this show is so afraid that you're going to forget what the fuck you're watching, it keeps telling you the same thing. Urashiman, Future Police. Urashiman,
every time there's a
Future
cut.
Police.
Every time there's a cut in every single episode. Urashiman, Future Police.
Because they're so afraid that you, for some reason, forget what show you're watching. And honestly, I understand it, because this show is extremely forgettable. It's just like, fucking in the middle of it, like, oh, that's what I'm watching. Thanks. I forgot. Then again, I do guess I understand, because it has brought me back to the show a couple times, where I've not been paying attention. I was like, Urashiman, Future Police. Oh, yeah, right. Anime.
Oh, yeah, I was watching this. No, you know what it reminded me of? Like a Pokemon episode, but not engaging. It was literally, and what I mean by it, let me finish. It goes, you have Necrime, you have your goofy woman, whatever her fucking name is, who cares? And then you have the short, goofy, incompetent sidekick, right? So you have Jesse and James of Team Rocket, right? Mm-hmm. And they go to steal something. Who gives a shit what it is? They gotta go steal it or blow something up, or, because apparently it's just they want to make money. right? That is the big crime syndicate's goal, is to make money.
They tried to steal Urashiman's past once.
Well, okay, yeah, they wanted to find out more about it. You know what? We'll save that thought. So they go to steal the thing. Mr. Urashiman and his two incompetent friends, who are more competent than him, I guess, they go after them because they stole their Pokemon, and then they thwart them through who gives a shit means that it's all terrible. It's someone's blown up, someone is. So they blast off again, and then your next episode is rinse and repeat of exactly that. It's the exact same thing. Uh-huh. It's not fun. It gets so repetitive that you could literally watch episode 1 and then episode 13, and you would think, man, maybe this show's okay, but everything in between was the same exact episode.
Yeah, there's not a lot of variation. Not even in the background music. Like as Tori was talking about Lupin, of course they use the same records throughout hundreds of episodes. But throughout the length of the music they're using, there's enough variation that they can use parts of it in different, instances and keep it fresh. Urashiman
They also have multiple. Like jazz ensembles and whatnot. Lupin that plays the same themes as well. So even if you get the same like Lupin theme, you get like a different style of it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And so, but this one is just like it seems like there's only one background music. Just there's single
one
thing.
One track and one way to do it.
Yeah.
Every time. So you mentioned about wanting to find his past and discover it. You would never guess he gives a shit, because there was one episode, I think it was episode 2, where there's a database in Tokyo that has everyone's information of all time.
Of course.
It's the future. And they're all on like floppy disks in decade vaults, and Necrime steals the 80s because he came from the 80s. I don't know how they knew he was from the 80s. They didn't. I guess
they tracked his time travel. They knew when he even fucking arrived.
Oh, okay, all right. So they steal the vault of floppy disks or whatnot, and this actually made me laugh because it's really dumb. They're chasing him around. A whole episode goes by. He doesn't know where they went, where they stole the information to, but they got away. And then at the end of the episode, in the very same truck, like days have gone by, in the very same truck, the information is apparently still in the stolen vehicle, and then the vehicle blows up. I go, you guys didn't take it back to the base and unload it?
Nope.
No, they just drove around. Like, here I am thinking, did they just drive around the city for like 3 days not knowing where to go?
Yes. That's essentially what they do. It's just like, fucking, well, can't find these guys anymore. Well, have you been looking? I mean, yeah, we were driving around the block a few times and haven't seen them yet. Well, okay, good job.
Keep doing it. They might show up tomorrow.
Maybe you'll see them in a window when you pass by. Like, hey, there.
Yeah, they always just kind of run into them. Like, hey, look, there they are. There's Team Rocket.
Yeah, sometimes
when they try to do the
most of the time,
Armstrong footprint.
It's just an accident.
Things
happen on accident. Of course, it's for comedic effect, but like every single time is
Armstrong
actually
footprint, right? You remember a fucking Armstrong footprint when they get that back, and then it's like that thing gets stolen. And it's like, how is this discovered? Well, because fucking Urashiman shows up and he has to go to the fucking toilet. He just sprints past them. Like, he shows up late, runs in, sprints into toilet, opens fucking. All of a sudden, a bunch of guards come running out, and he's running after him. It's like, runs back to his team. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you doing your job? It's like, oh yeah, of course, because when you want to impersonate guards, the first place you think of locking away the people that you have impersonated is in the bathroom. Why?
Why? Have you seen? You've seen the Everest episode, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's like, why did Chief ask us to come to the Everest? And also, funny thing on that episode, the Speed Racer car is parked on the hotel thing, parking lot, and they're like, well, we don't know why the chief made us come to the Everest because he didn't tell us why. And then they found Neff Grimes there. So they're like, oh, of course, Chief is like very smart. He cracked down some secret code and he knew that some crimes would be made here. And like the crime was like, no, we're gonna use a silent bomb to lower the Everest. And when they show the silent bomb,
the
silent bomb,
in which
is a flamethrower.
Yeah, it's a flamethrower that the guy had around his waist belt as he's climbing Everest, and then he just drops it.
Yeah. And then, like, by the end of the episode, it's like, oh, the chief is like, no, I just wanted our mascot cat to be the first cat to be on the top of Everest. I was like, oh my god.
It's going to be in that Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah. Because that's what matters.
Yep, even in the future.
God. I hated the character designs in this. Hated them all. I did not like the flat, nothing faces, hardly any facial expressions.
Tooth.
Go on, Tori.
Fucking that goddamn front tooth of theirs. I hate that. Like it's like the fucking stereotypical. Like it's like the fucking stereotypical child drawing. Like in cartoons, right? With just fucking that giant front tooth, and it's just like everybody has it. Everyone. I don't even understand why.
I think that's a Tatsunoko production thing.
Like, fuck them. I don't like it.
I think that's what they did because that was a very 70s type of look.
Very bad.
Just kind of carried over here. The show's just not exciting. It's not good. I would find myself just slowly not paying attention, fucking around on my phone sometimes. Just none of this matters.
You've seen one episode, so you've seen most of them.
The character design for Urashiman was the same character design of Bat Labor.
Yes.
Including something changed. She did Gotchaman design.
She got better. That's what happened.
Well, Ryo Urashiman here, he has a power suit he used like once.
Yes. He used it twice.
Whatever,
I remember him using it more than once. It's important, JD. It's like twice as many times.
Oh, well, I guess mathematically you're correct.
JD, she also did the character designing for the anime adaptation of Urusei Yatsura.
Oh, hey, how about that? Well, yeah, I could see that.
Like I said, she got better, and then she got worse, and then she got better again.
Yeah. So yeah, he has a super suit, but no one else has it. I just there's so many just weird holes.
Yeah, like
that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
It's not that it doesn't need to make sense because it's a child cartoon, but like at least doesn't like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like doesn't need to make sense, but it's not well thought, right?
No, because, none of it's well thought. Why is this item they're stealing so important to Necrime? And they just go, well, the Fuhrer said to go get it. Like, okay. And then, by accident, of course, our heroes thwart them.
Yeah.
But it's a unit of 3 people.
When he
3 incompetent people.
When he built his futuristic beetle,
with no mechanical experience at all, and all using the equipment of the future.
You don't need that.
Like when he took a Smith and Wesson 38 special, Chief special, and he's like, I'm gonna make a gun out of it. I was like, okay, he's gonna be like the cool guy using actual ammunition when everyone is shooting lasers. No, he makes a laser gun out of a Chief's special. But it doesn't, and he's like, oh yeah, this is the only gun for me because I can handle it. I'm like, dude, that doesn't even look like the gun. It looks like any other laser gun anyone used at some point, but black instead of white.
Yep.
I love
that makes
how
all the difference.
I love how at the beginning I love how stupid this is, but I love how at the beginning that it's established that, oh man, all these future cars, they're all hover vehicles, right? I can't control them. I have to make my Beetle into a super future beetle with like magnetic tires, so it can like be on the road that angles and intertwines through the city. But then as the series goes on, you notice more and more vehicles with tires.
Mm-hmm.
So they completely drop that idea.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
when
This is just that like typical like old cartoon
tire,
thing.
It's like, oh man, my beetle has a flat tire. It's like, well, if you had a flying car, you wouldn't have a flat
You wouldn't
tire.
have to use that.
I mean, for fuck's sakes, he dumped his fucking car in the goddamn ocean. Ugh. Oh, this show.
What else is there to even talk about it? It's just
he
not
almost
good.
he almost
Why don't
killed
we talk
himself
about
a few
every
times.
episode?
Like
I mean, that one
he almost
episode.
killed himself a few times.
Yeah.
all the time.
Like,
yeah.
but it's not like ha ha ha. Look, it's just a funny thing. He almost killed himself. No, he literally just jumped out of a window at some point, and like
Yeah.
a huge, like it was a huge skyscraper, and he just jumped out of the window.
Oh yeah, and the screen just cuts, and I'm just like, well, he died.
No.
And he's fine.
No.
And then Claude
Claude
grabbed him.
grabs him. He holds
Yeah,
him
and
back.
he's like, "Why are
That's
you
the fucking,
jumping out of the fucking
He was
window?"
just trying to run down the building. He should hold him. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm chasing after him. Look down. It's like, what? Oh shit!
He's like, Why?
I'm surprised. I'm
not
surprised
even-
that guy made it past fucking the first 5 years of his life. I'm shocked he didn't kill himself, because this guy clearly has no sense of safety whatsoever. He's just like, oh fuck it, we need to go after him. Who cares that we're in a tall building? I'm just gonna go out the window. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, you can become that nice little paint of blood on the ground.
Yeah,
I guess.
he has superpowers apparently.
Yeah. Remember that episode in the disco when he turned off all the power? Wow. Good job.
Yeah, but it was actually a cat just biting the circuit breaker.
Typical
So
cartoon. Typical cartoon. But use your powers. Showcase your powers. Okay. And then all of a sudden all the power goes out. It's like, oh shit. He's got real powers. Everyone run.
So Hickey, does he indeed have powers later in the show?
Up to episode 15, no. I'll watch to episode 25 and I'll let you know. Then I'll
Alright,
give it up.
we'll just have to give it.
I don't know. I don't know
when.
when I will watch. I'll definitely
Never.
watch in like
Never.
in February. Carnival
Never.
is coming up. I won't do anything, so I might as well watch Urashiman. Everyone will be going out in the streets and partying and drinking, and I'll be home and watching Urashiman. But
I don't believe you.
once I get to episode 25, I'll let you know. It is. What more has to talk about? I had something I wanted to talk about, but I forgot. So
It's not important. It's all about future police Urashiman.
Future police.
All right. I don't have much else to say over this just boring early 80s show.
Fuck that show.
Tori, what score are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a nice little 3 out of 10.
Ooh, that's exactly what I had. 3 out of 10. Makes sense to me. Hickey, you didn't hate
it
the
is
show.
a problem because I didn't have that much of a problem with the show. Because like I was lagging behind. I was like, man, I've watched 15 episodes. How many episodes did you guys watch? Tori's like 7. Like, oh, damn. Okay, so I'll give it a 3 as well, because honestly, there's better late 70s, early 80s kids shows, just like Urashiman. They're way better than it. So, it's technically,
a lot of shows
technically
of the era
Urashiman is
are
really
way
bad.
better. And even from a Saturday morning cartoon perspective, those are also way better. So, all right. Next is a way better anime from the Red Leaf Retrocast. We're doing is it our first Ghibli movie?
I've talked about Ghibli movies on this podcast before, but yeah, I think it's the first one we're reviewing as part of the podcast.
Oh, cool. Well, that'll be great.
Yeah.
because we've done
Tune in next time.
We've done some stinkers lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to happen.
Yeah. All right. So this was episode 67 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. See you next time.
Peace.
See ya.
Never